Well, hello to you all, and welcome to the May Macomb Park Board of Commissioners meeting. So, as always, we'll start with the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve? You guys need to take a look at it. I'm gonna jump on there. Take a gander at it. Yeah.
Starting with the, what are we, May agenda?
Sorry, John, can you mute your mic, please? Getting a lot of residual.
Is it Sterling's?
I'm trying to get back to where we were.
So, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, and the agenda stands approved. All right, consideration of an action on the minutes from the month, let's see, we're in May, so that would be April.
We're gonna have to do two separate approvals. We'll need to do the March one first and then the April minutes.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yes.
So we'll start with the month of March. Consideration of an action on the minutes from March.
So the air's not in your shirts, so it won't go up the surface.
So move.
Where we're at.
All right, is there a second?
And then other guys are trying to park. Some of the guys took it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. And I guess let's go ahead and should I have them? I've never done two in a row, so should I
All
be
in
good?
favor?
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any nay? All right. I'm sorry, John.
Yo,
Commissioner, wait, we're getting a lot of background.
yeah, no, I'm trying to work on it right now.
Okay, thanks. All right, so now consideration of an action on the minutes from the month of April. Are there any corrections, additions, or deletions?
I'd like to move that the March meetings are be approved minutes.
April, dumbass.
Oh, we're going with April? We're on April now, Russ.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. April's meeting.
All right. And, okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to approve minutes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, minutes stand approved. All right, so bills and transfers and monthly financial statements. Commissioner Ham, please.
Okay. So is everybody able to hear me if I sit back like this?
Yep.
Okay. We'll start with the consolidated fund. For April 2020, the cash on hand at the end of the month was $375,459. Of that, $283,805 was in capital projects. $41,653 was in savings. And in the dedicated funds, there's $50,000. Overall, for the end of the month, we're $28,658 better than the budget. For year to date, $87,899 better than budget. Moving to the general fund, we ended April with $190,490. cash on hand, of which $187,803 in the general fund and $2,686.37 and some change was in savings. So overall, at the end of the month, we're $16,456 better than budget projections. And the year to date, $36,763 better than expected. In both of these fund accounts, as you can expect, the revenue in both those accounts were below budget, but so were expenses. For the corporate account, we ended April $5,953 better than budget, and year to date, we're $20,056 better than budget. Recreation, overall for the month, we're $6,598 below budget. Year to date, we're $10,715 better than budget. For Lakeview, we ended the month $315 better than budget expectations, and the year to date is $749 better. For Ball 4, year to date, or excuse me, for the expenses, we ran $29 below budget, but year to date, we're at $674 below what we were expecting at this time. The special rec account, overall, for the month, we were $922 better than budget, and year to date, we're $391 above the budget expectations. And we'll go through the program events, the Special Olympics, and the non-activity accounts. Basically, all ended below budget in the special rec category. The police accounts, the revenues basically ended on the budget. Expenses ended $740 below the expected numbers. And year to date, we're at $1,598 better than the budget. Finally, in the payroll category, our wages ended the month $5,406 below budget, and year to date is $24,344 below budget. I don't have any other details of transactions that really occurred to report, so that's where we stand.
All right. Thank you, Russ, for that. Any questions for Commissioner Ham? Okay. No questions. Then a motion to approve the bills and transfers and the monthly financial statement.
I make a motion to approve.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Weiss,
Aye.
Commissioner Hemingway, abstain. Commissioner Ham,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamage.
Aye.
All right. And the bills and transfers and monthly financial statement stands approved as published.
President Weiss, before we go any further, just a point of order. Is our legal counsel, is Joe O'Donnell in attendance or not?
Yes.
He is. Thank you. I wasn't aware. I see his name, but I don't see an audio or video feed. So I was just making sure. Thank you.
All right.
There he is.
Hey, Joe.
All right.
Yeah, how you-
All right. So looks like we do not have anyone for open public presentations to the commissioners. So we'll move on to the president's report. I've got a few things here to talk to you guys about. So normally in the month of May, Greg Butler meets with us to discuss the annual audit. And I decided because of the way we're doing our monthly meetings right now, decided to push it to next month. I'm hopeful that we will have the opportunity to meet in our regular meeting spot for the month of June. So, so we'll have that to look forward to next month. And then the other thing briefly is just letting you all know that I've been working with Director Lenz on the phase reopening for the Park District. And of course, we'll have more information for you all on that for our June meeting. And so that's all I have for President's Report at this time. So we'll go ahead and move on to the Director's Report.
Thank you. So as we're all aware, the COVID crisis continues. So we have continued as we adapted in April. The main office remains closed, all of our facilities, restrooms, those all remain closed. The parks are open. We highly encourage people when it's not very wet outside to go out and enjoy them. And we really appreciate everybody's observation of the CDC guidelines. That's made it very easy for us to continue to provide those open space opportunities. It's nice to drive into work and see, you know, the people around the Everly Pond fishing with at least 6 to 10 feet of distance between each other. But, you know, fun to see the parent or guardian with the little one out there trying to catch a fish. You know, it's been very nostalgic and great to see. So we, like Phil mentioned, we are developing a plan to reopen based on the governor's Restore Illinois plan. To all reports point to, we are going to enter into phase 3 at the end of May. It doesn't change a ton for us, but it does mean a lot of good things for our local small businesses. It's a step in the right direction and closer to at least phase 4, where it's semi-normal. You know, masks will be part of our norm for quite some time, but you know, there are some leniencies when it comes to phase 3 where we could start bringing people back into the office on a little bit more regular basis. We're required to close congregation spots. So like our conference room, you know, we would encourage staff not to use. But for the most part, a lot of our staff have really adapted to working remotely. And I'm encouraged to continue that pattern as long as they're continuing to stay vigilant with work, which they have been. And I'm very impressed with that. I don't think I could stay as focused on work with a bunch of little ones running around, which I know some of our staff are battling with. So kudos to them for being able to take that on and balance. In the reopening plan, there's going to be a lot of hoops that we jump through to get to the point where we can start opening our facilities. As you guys are aware, our staff is very minimal right now. We've been in a hiring freeze since beginning of April. So Jeff and his team are doing what they can to stay up with mowing, let alone the other projects that he would normally be taking care of right now, maintaining fields and prepping them for season, getting the bathrooms ready. That's all been very much slowed down just so he can stay on top of mowing. You know, several of us in the office have tried to help out. I go out to Lakeview now once a week and mow. Neil is over at Ball 4 once a week to mow. So we're all doing our part to make sure that Jeff has the support he needs. But that will kind of be what we base our timeline off of, as well as the governor's Restore Illinois plan. They were in the middle of a project at Ball 4 when this all happened, laying new carpets for the mini golf course. That got interrupted about halfway through, so it would take some time for us to get that completed before we started a new system out at Ball 4. And just so everybody's aware, I mean, until we reach phase 5, there will be new systems in place with the park district. We're not entirely sure what that looks like. We've been in touch with our state associations and other park districts, but it would most likely look very similar to a registration for a program. That way we can make sure that we are abiding by the 50 and under rule once we get into July. 10 and under in June, we're not going to be opening Ball 4, but 50 and under in July, there's a chance that we can make that happen. So more to come on that. I have been in conversation with most of the youth leagues just to kind of get a feel for what their hope and plan is for the summer. I'm still waiting to hear back from 2, but the consensus is they're hopeful for a late start, but they're also being very realistic. So they don't want to start a season late enough that kiddos don't get it, playing time enough worth the money that they're paying. So we're going to keep working with youth leagues. If we can get a late season opening, if something changes, we'll obviously support that. But yeah, again, they're also being very realistic. So fingers crossed. Let's see. There has been some good announcements that have happened through the governor's weekly addresses. He announced, I believe last Monday, that they have established is not the word. Set aside money? Allocated, there it is. Allocated funding for shovel-ready projects. So I have been working with John and Phil on moving forward with that. Hopefully we'll have something for everybody in June. But it's a very generous amount of funding that they're providing for municipalities. So again, we're very hopeful that maybe we can get our hands on some of that opportunity to make our parks a little bit more inviting for our community, give them something to look forward to. Beyond that, our staff, as I've mentioned, have been extremely creative with the things that they've been doing. I mentioned last month the Happiness at Home kits. We made those live. I believe it was on a Wednesday or Thursday. They were sold out by Saturday. We didn't have a ton of them ready. I think we had 20 to 25 ready. So, but we were excited to see that response. So there are more available. The staff did put together several more. So if people are interested, it's a great product. You get 5 days of activities, 5 activities per day, with the necessary unique materials. The rest of the materials, paper, scissors, we imagine most people have at home. And it's all for $7. And it comes with a delivery, no contact delivery to your home if you live within the Macomb city limits. Otherwise, we do curbside pickup as well. So the Happiness at Home kits are available. We've started doing daily jokes. We took our cancellation line that is not being utilized right now and turned it into the Macomb Park District joke line. So Monday through Friday, you can call 309-837-7275, and you will hear one of the Park District staff voices telling the most ridiculous, cheesy jokes. But it's good. I mean, we've had a good engagement from the community, and we all get a laugh listening to whoever can be the most ridiculous on the line. I will tell you, Sharon Camp has surprised us all with her quick wit. She's also started doing a riddle of the day for just the Macomb staff, the Park District staff. She got me this morning. I still haven't figured it out. But and then Chris Frankhauser includes sound effects with his jokes. So I can't compete with that. But so we got some jokesters. And then another new thing that we've done recently, senior photos. We partnered with the Macomb High School, Macomb Arts Center, and downtown, Kristen Terry. We were excited and at the ready when we got a call about an idea. And so there are senior photos hanging up in the Glenwood Park. We've made it more of a scavenger hunt than you can drive around and just see it. We wanted to make it a little more interactive, encourage the students and their families to get into the parks. and have fun hunting everybody down. So that will be up until May 30th. So again, following the same timeline as the downtown, but you know, we were happy to be a part of celebrating the seniors, and you know, we feel for them. This would be a very difficult thing to miss out on, and to have such a unique graduation ceremony, but I'm very glad that they at least got to have that. So and another new, Natalie Shelley is working on a kit for ceramics, so that will be released soon, but keep your eye out. I know that we have a lot of ceramics participants who are missing that opportunity to get their hands dirty and make something creative. So she is developing a kit that has 4 different ceramics projects in it. You will get everything that you need with it, and she has set herself up her own video studio so that you can, it looks down at her hands and you can see her doing the project with you. So it comes with instructions as well. So she's very clever. But that is, we're excited to at least have some life coming out of the ceramics studio. Very excited to see people in it, especially now that it's all complete. The expansion is done. Yeah, I'm very thankful for the staff's creativity during this time and still keeping the community engaged. Let's see. I did want to also point out with the budget, I've been trying to keep track of our operations, what we are operating at versus what we operated at last year, and the differential between our revenues from this year to last year. Our staffing is very similar, pretty much December through the end of April every year. We are maintaining the staff that we have on board. So in May, you will see a fairly large difference from our staff salaries, expenses. It will be much lower, yeah. So we are trying to make efforts to reduce our costs, making small cuts here and there. But you know, so if you guys have saw that the expenses seem very similar and not that they haven't seemed like we've reduced much, it's just that is our, you know, baseline budget year to year. So you'll see a bigger difference in May. But okay, I think that's all.
Okay, thank you very much, Rachel. Any questions for Director Lenz? Okay. As on a side note, I appreciate you all doing the images of all the seniors, as I have a senior, graduate now as of Sunday. So, and the Park District was going to be a part of the graduation ceremony. Unfortunately, we had to postpone that because of weather. They were going to set up the large screen to showcase the senior video that was done. So, but we nonetheless appreciate all the effort Park District is doing to help out all the seniors here in Macomb. It's awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, so next up on the agenda is the consideration and possible action on Campfire Concepts strategic plan proposal. Director Lenz had sent out the proposal, was it yesterday, Rachel?
Yeah, my apologies that it was not more timely. It slipped my mind, to be honest.
So not sure if y'all got an opportunity to take a look at the new strategic plan that Jared sent to us. I gotta say, it's fantastic. It's simple, it's short, it's to the point. I mean, it's great. I really appreciate his work on this.
Does everybody have the correct copy? It looks like this. It's much different than the first one that we received.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
just wanna make sure.
timeline, the timeline and fees have been listed in that, and it's down to the $2,000 total.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
That is correct.
I would say it was a really great meeting where I think Jared did a good job of helping us walk through some of our concerns and the concerns that you all raised. And I will say, Russ, the last time you talked about it being, if it's timely right now because of the COVID crisis, and Jared was very much in agreement with that there was probably a different step that we could take before going the full Monty, if you will, right now, and waiting until things kind of find themselves as a new normal. So I was encouraged by this new design.
I have a question. Would the bottom line price tag change if we chose to postpone having this procedure done, or would that obviously change with waiting?
I don't know. I don't think it would change. I believe this is something that he has not 100% done before. This is more of a 1-year focus, helping us kind of devise a plan based on what the board's vision statement was and moving through the COVID crisis to get us to the point where we could do a strategic plan later on. And, obviously some of this he wouldn't need to redo for the strategic plan. It would just be part of it. But I'm not sure if that would change or not. I didn't think to ask that question.
Question.
And oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Russ.
When would be the estimated start time for this? And if I understand it right, even though it says a timeline of 2 weeks, it could be 2 weeks and then lay off some time and then would continue 4 weeks later, or how would that work? Is it sequential, or is it like the first 2 weeks would be that, next 4 weeks would be that, following 2 weeks, and then the following 6 weeks, last 6 weeks would be the formulation and result? Is that how it's worked from the date it starts?
I believe it's sequential.
Okay.
It wouldn't start until I believe July or a little later. We're waiting for, if you'll remember, Dr.
Jeremy Robinette.
Jeremy Robinette. Wow, don't tell him that I did that. Well, he can watch this. Dr. Robinette, he did a community-wide focus group, did a public meeting about the findings, but he is doing a formal report to community organizations that he hopes to have out at the beginning of June. So that will give us time to look over that document, analyze it for ourselves. Jared is also requested a copy from Jeremy, and so he will have that documentation to look over. So yeah, that's, I think the targeted start time was beginning to mid-July.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other questions?
I have one question. If we wait until next month at our next meeting to make this a motion or vote on it, would that be entirely too late to start the process in July?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, part of the process is going through the information that Jeremy has collected, and which will be available the 1st of June. So
I think Jared would probably want some reassurance that we have intentions to continue. Otherwise, he wouldn't have any means or reason to go through that document. But if we gave him a reason as to why we were going to try to postpone it, he's a pretty understanding guy.
Well, with that being said, I would like to go ahead and make a motion that we secure the process by the concepts.
Secure the $2,000 for
Campfire.
the campfire concepts. Is that what
Yeah,
you're?
that would be my motion, yes.
I could second that, that we accept the proposal for the campfire concepts. I could support that motion.
Okay. So and just to for some clarity, for starting in, because there was the talk of starting that in July or starting that sooner.
Well, I think regardless, based on Jared's timeline, we wouldn't be able to start it until July.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And financially, I don't believe he will charge us until it's time to start moving on it. So they would also be mid-July.
All right. Okay. So, and was that a second, Sterling? I'm sorry.
I second it.
Okay. All right. So, it has been moved and seconded. Let's roll call vote, please, Rachel.
Commissioner Hemingway,
Aye.
Commissioner Ham,
Aye.
Commissioner Edwards,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamage,
Aye.
Commissioner Weiss.
Aye. All right.
Great.
Well, let's see. That was the last thing on the agenda, wasn't it?
It was.
We flew through this. Okay. Well, that being said, oh wait, do we mix the open commissioner presentation and discussion of future agenda items?
Can I beat Phil? Can I beat Russ to something? I know he's going to ask, and I just remembered.
Yeah.
I did get an update on the lighting project.
Thank you.
They, because of the conversation with Little League, and they're following the Restore Illinois plan as well, which would lead them to late June before they could start. Our construction company has moved forward with ordering the lights. So as soon as those come in, it'll be, again, weather dependent. Now we are in spring, which is what we were trying to avoid. But if weather cooperates, we could see some lights go up in the near future.
As in June.
It just depends on the weather. Now that it's rained for 4 days or so,
Mhm.
I won't get my hopes too high, but it'll happen eventually.
All right. Any other? Anything else from the commissioners? Questions or comments? I'm sorry. Okay.
Phil, I'm
Yes.
sorry, but I want to go back to one point in the director's report that just hit me about the parks being open. We do want to stress upon, I think, the public that you said the restrooms are going to be closed. Also, all the exercise equipment and the kids' swings and equipment are also going to be gate or fenced off around them. Is that correct?
Yes.
Until probably July, if we go to phase 3?
Yeah, actually, I think playgrounds will be closed until
4, probably.
yeah, a little later. Yeah, playgrounds will be the last to be opened, unfortunately, based on the governor's plan.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. No, thank you for bringing it up. I forgot to mention.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna pull the trigger here. Are we ready? All right. So, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion to adjourn.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you all so much for meeting virtually. And I hope we all see each other face to face in June.
And I will ask just Phil for sure, but a couple people to stick behind just in case Patrick has a couple questions.
Oh, I'm okay. I don't have any questions. Thanks.
Oh man, we did well then, didn't we? All
All right.
right.
Thanks.